What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. Hope you had a fabulous Labor Day weekend. Also, thank you so much to everybody who served our country in the military and also other people like teachers, nurses, truckers, everybody who served our country in one way or another, the workforce, the lifeblood of our country. People who are retired and work their whole lives serving our country. Yeah, it's what really makes our country Americans, right? Yeah, so thank you so much here on the Labor Day weekend. Was really a let me know what you did here Labor Day weekend. Yeah, so we had a great. You can see our one of our wedding pictures here was our anniversary here. Thank you so much for your happy anniversary wishes to everybody. You guys are amazing. We must have had over 1,000 happy anniversary wishes. So yeah, our anniversary was yesterday. So thank you so much. So yeah, my wife and I, we've been married for 11 years and we've been together for 18 years, going strong here. And yeah, our son Julian slept over Papa's house and Grandpa's house, and we had a cone of silence. We had a cone of silence. Let me know if you know what show that from. I don't know if people are gonna know that, but that's from Everybody Loves Raymond, one of the episodes. Pretty interesting. Yeah. So yeah, we had a little bit of silence. We got to watch some TV shows. We watched the new Lord of the Rings. I love that show. That's a really good show. And we didn't get to watch the new episode of Game of Thrones yet, but that's really good too. Let me know if you've watched either of those. But yeah, let's jump right in. We got a lot to cover here. Here we go. Really got a lot to cover here. It's a stimulus update. Why the U.S. is one of the worst developed countries to raise a child in. We're going to go over new direct payments worth up to $300 will land in accounts. It's actually more than this. I'll go over here for some people in 7 days. And we'll go over several different things here in this video. We'll start with this stimulus update. Why the U.S. is one of the worst developed countries to raise a child in. It's really sad here. You know, the United States, we're supposed to be the greatest country here in the world, but in some areas we really lack in. Out of 41 countries just analyzed by Pew Research, the US is the only country that does not provide paid parental leave, which is particularly sad during a pandemic where over 1 million US people have died from the pandemic or complications from the virus. The US is the only industrialized country that does not provide universal health care. So look at that. Out of 41 countries, we're the only country that does not provide paid parental leave, and we're the only country that does not provide universal health care. They did try to provide paid parental leave in a previous version of the Build Back Better. That was shot down. Remember, all the Republicans voted no on that, and eventually it got removed just due to it being whittled down through various iterations of it. We're the only country in the 41 countries that does not provide universal health care. And we know how expensive healthcare is getting, more and more expensive by the year. Annually, the U.S. spends only $500 per child on early child care, leaving the rest up to families. Leaving the rest up to families. Here's a massive article I just seen here on the Wall Street Journal a few days ago. It now costs $300,000 to raise a child. A middle-income family might spend more than $18,000 a year on average as inflation hits food, housing, haircuts, sports, and more, the Brookings analysis finds. And the average cost of childcare is now more than $10,000 per year on average. Here's why that is a massive problem for anybody. For anybody, $10,000 per year just for childcare. Just for childcare. And what's really strange, I see a lot of people complaining about families that get the child tax credits saying, well, what about us? What about us? And, I see, I feel like that's a really, sad thing. A lot of people complain about this that, I get the mentality that if it's not for us, if it's not for me, that other people shouldn't get help. But I feel like we gotta get away from that right now because it's very expensive to raise a child. A lot of people don't um, maybe realize that now how expensive things have got. It's $10,000 just for childcare alone, and if you're working, well, you might need that, especially if school lets out and you're still working, or if you're working before the children are in school. It's expensive. And the $2,000 or $3,000 that you're maybe getting from the child tax credits only pays for a fraction of what you're going to be paying out. Last year's 6 months worth of monthly child tax credit payments lifted an estimated 3.7 million children out of poverty. But on January 1st, those families were once again left on their own devices as Republicans in Congress refused to extend the monthly child tax credit payments. According to a new study from Columbia University, the monthly child poverty rate jumped from 12.1% in December to 17% in January 2022 when the child tax credit payments ended. The study shows that all those children living in poverty before the expanded child tax credits slipped right back in. And it's not just the lack of the child tax credit payments impacting families, it's downright just plain expensive to raise a child in the US. Made worse by the lack of paid parental leave and the high cost of daycare, plus the US is the only industrialized country without universal health care. Compared to other nations, the US does not come close to providing for children like other countries do. For example, according to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the US spends only $500 on early childhood care on a government level per child. In contrast, Norway spends about $29,000 per child. Finland spends about $23,000 per child. Germany spends about $18,000 per child. Even Chile, a relatively poor country, spends more than $8,000 per child on early childhood care. And the US, supposed to be the greatest country in the world, spends $500 per child on a government level. Everything else is left up for the families to pay for. And if mom and dad are working, then they have to pay for it. Parental leave in Canada can stretch to 78 weeks after giving birth or even adopting. Families get $569 per month for each child under the age of 6 and $480 per month for ages 6 through 17 in Canada. Again, more than the US. Denmark, they get $673 each quarter for children under 18, and new moms get 52 weeks of leave, a whole year following the birth of a child. Norway, new mothers receive full pay for 44 weeks after giving birth. Wow. Dads must take at least 6 weeks of parental leave or risk losing 6 weeks of family payments. Once a child is born, they receive $123 per month until the child is 18. In the US, doing peanuts compared to these other countries, right? In Sweden, my wife is Swedish, or part, her heritage, right? Swedish families receive $136 per child once birth. Parents get 480 days of parental leave. The government guarantees 240 days of paid leave each when there are two parents. When you look at compare that to what the US is supposed to be the greatest country in the world. And don't get me wrong, I'm an American, but it's just we really do need to step it up in a lot of areas for parents, for seniors. I just did in the last video. We talked about the average cost of a one-bedroom apartment is $1,770. I'll show it here. The average cost of a one-bedroom apartment, $1,770 a month. For a two-bedroom apartment, $2,100. I mean, if you have kids, you need a two-bedroom. And even I was talking about this in relation to seniors, because the average Social Security payment for seniors is around $1,500 a month for Social Security, and 50% of seniors have no other retirement. 50%. So they only get the $1,500 a month, and a lot of people get less than that. A lot of people get less than that. I see a lot of comments saying, "Jimmy, I don't make anywhere near that." And this is why so many people want the Social Security reform, saying we need a raise to benefits, which there are multiple bills to raise Social Security benefits by $2,400 per year and to raise benefits to $1,415 of the minimum benefits per month, which really it needs to be, because look at this. I mean, a one bedroom is $1,770 a month across the United States. This is the average rent. You still have to pay for things like food and a car and gas and maybe electric and utilities, whether or not they're included or not, because some places they are, some places they're not. I mean, things are just very expensive nowadays. And guess what? They get more expensive every year, whether inflation's high, inflation's low, they still go up a little bit every year, no matter who's president, no matter what. Inflation's always there, whether it's 2%, 9%, 5%, it's always going up at least somewhat. And this is why a lot of these things really need an overhaul for a lot of different groups. Parents are struggling, seniors are struggling, low income is struggling. Um, and this is why it's really sad when Congress can't agree right now. Republicans and Democrats constantly butting heads. Um, and in a way, I actually feel like the Democrats controlling all of Congress um, has kind of hurt us a little bit. And again, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, but the Democrats don't have 60 votes in the Senate. Okay, so a lot of people kind of, unless you watch my show, you religiously, you know this. I see some comments on like social media and stuff that say, "Well, Democrats control everything; they can just pass anything they want." It's not the case, and it wasn't the case in 2017 when the also Republicans controlled the House, the Senate, and the presidency under former President Donald Trump back in 2017 and 2018 as well. They controlled the House, the Senate, and the presidency, but neither of them had 60 votes in the Senate. It's almost unheard of to get 60 on the Senate, because it's very, very difficult to actually get 60, because it's 50-50 right now. To really actually get 60 on the Senate would be unheard of. Yeah. If somebody had that, though, look out, America, because if it was Republicans or Democrats, they would just be passing so many bills. They would just almost alienate the other party, the other side of America. It actually wouldn't be good for either party, because remember, America is about 50-50 when it comes to people. There's a lot, when it comes to voters, it's pretty evenly Republicans and Democrats, people wise. So it really wouldn't be that good for America. Um, you know, so you can let me know your thoughts here on this, but we really need a lot of help when it comes to, like, remember, 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck in debt and just overall struggling on a monetary basis. You hear things like, money is the root of all evil, and, don't let money control you. But the reality of it is money makes the world go round. Without money, you can't eat. Without money, you can't pay rent. You don't have a roof over your head. You can't get in a car and go to your job. You can't. Money is just. It's just. It's not that like it's not that it's money per se. It's not that like people are like seething over money itself. It's just that you just need money represents food. Money represents a house. Money represents a car. Money represents freedom. Money represents all these things. It's just that, that it's just not, it's not that, it's not the object of money. It's what money, you get what I'm saying here. And that's the problem is that, the, especially for people on fixed incomes, that's the real problem for people on fixed incomes, that they make the same amount of money every month, and it's just not enough. It's just not enough. So let me know your thoughts here. This is why we need an increase to benefits. And hopefully we will be seeing more of this. We have seen a lot of things here. We have seen a lot of things done here. A lot of state benefits and state stimulus checks coming. I'll get to this one here right now. New direct payments worth up to $300 will land in accounts in 7 days. The exact four forms you need to have filled out. Millions of taxpayers in Illinois, no S, are set to receive a tax rebate worth up to $300 in days. The direct payments, which were introduced as part of the state's $46.5 billion budget in the spring, will head to Americans from September 12th. September 12th here. The details here say single taxpayers will get so this is not really a big check. Something's better than nothing. It'll help you buy some groceries. But Illinois kind of did a multi-pronged package here where they did a whole bunch of things. Single taxpayers will get a rebate of $50 per adult. Joint filers, $100. Families with dependents are set to receive up to $300. Officials say, I think it's $100 per dependent as well. Around, I think it's $50 or $100 per dependent, but it doesn't say here. I think it's $100 per dependent. Around 6 million people in the state are set to receive the cash boost. Single Illinoisians, Illinoisians, that's an awesome name, will be eligible for a refund if their adjusted gross income is under $200,000. Residents that completed and filed their state tax returns will get the rebate automatically. But taxpayers that have not filed yet the Form IL 1040 can do so until October 17th. The delivery of the checks could take up to 8 weeks. You can also check on the status of their tax rebate on the My Tax Illinois online proposal. There's also another check. The state is sending a rebate to homeowners that earn less than $250,000. Homeowners can get another check equal to the amount of property tax they qualified for in 2020, up to $300. So homeowners can get another check, a tax rebate, property tax rebate, up to $300 as well. So Illinois had a multi-tiered stimulus package per se. And they also, I believe, cut a portion of the gas tax and the grocery tax. I think Illinois could do more, but this is what they did now. Most states are doing something. There's over 31 different states that are either sending checks, reducing their taxes, or something along these lines. I'll keep you up to date here. But some states are doing 2 times around. Like Indiana did a double. They did a check and then they did another check. Some of them just got them combined into one. But Illinois might be another one where they might come around and do another check as well, or a check again next year, which at this point is only a few months away. So I'll keep you up to date here on all these states and what's going on here in our country. A lot of these federal programs like Social Security raises, programs for parents and children like the child tax credits or paid family leave, and healthcare, and also the student loan forgiveness. I'll keep you up to date here on all these different things. There's also going to be a food stamp conference, SNAP conference potential raise here this month as well. I'll keep you up to date on everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. So make sure to click the subscribe button down below and the bell icon if you haven't yet, so you don't miss out on new videos. It's completely free to do so. This way you won't miss out on new videos. You can also click the thumbs up button for us to show your support for our YouTube channel. You can click here to see my newest video about new checks going out to millions of Americans here as well. More in that video. And here is more details on the $2,400 Social Security raise. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.